Okay, now, Megan, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Megan Haya. I'm the catering sales manager here at Hotel Haya, which is in Ybor City. Before here, I was actually at the Vinoy, so I recognize some of your faces when I did events there. But today we'll be highlighting our most popular, specifically wedding options for our couples. We host ceremony as well as receptions here. And then of course we have the hotel, so we offer complimentary room blocks as well for up to 10 rooms. So that's a nice little perk that our weddings get. And I have my sales coordinator here, Kennedy. So she's my bodyguard to make sure no one interrupts us and gets us through the tour as well. So we'll start, we're actually in, sorry, let me flip this. So we are in what's called the private dining room right now. It's actually part of our only indoor outdoor space. So it connects to our courtyard, which we'll go out there next. But this space is great for cocktail hour if the couple's looking for that indoor outdoor vibe. It's also a great spot for bridal luncheons or rehearsal dinners for a small intimate group of like about 20, 26 is comfortable. It does come with these long wood feasting tables, and these are actually our ivory green chairs that we have for ceremony as well as reception. So those are very trendy right now, which is perfect for us. Also on the walls, we have all local artwork from art students that usually gets changed out quarterly. So sometimes that will be rotating. It also comes with the buffet or a credenza here. So we can do a lot of post-wedding brunches on a flow. So that's really nice on a Saturday or Sunday, depending on the wedding day. But then it goes out to the courtyard space. So again, it can be used for cocktail hour. We would scatter in, we have high top tables as well as the lounge furniture here. It does come with the market lights, but this was also a great spot for ceremony. So a lot of the times the couples like to stand at the very end down there. We can do up to about 65 comfortably. We can max it out to about 80, but it gets really tight. But then it also has all of our natural plants, which is amazing. So you don't need much decor out here. It's also where we allow our cigar smoking. That's obviously a huge factor here in Ybor during cocktail hour or post-wedding parties. So we have that available in our courtyard. It's also connected to our pool area. So that is always one thing we like to mention. We do not shut down the pool for ceremony or cocktail hour. It is always available to our guests. However, our guests more use it on the weekends, if you will, but just so you can kind of see it. There's also another entrance for our guests, so they don't have to disrupt any of our event space going on. So this is the full area if you're standing at where ceremony usually is. So that way the couple can come out through the private dining room. So it's a nice little staging area. Go inside. So for those who have never been to Hotel Haya, just a quick little view of our lobby. This also goes right into Florfina, which is our restaurant, available for lunch and dinner, and then brunch on the weekends. It's also great spots for photos for the bride and groom and our little solarium over here. So very trendy. But next we're gonna move right on over to the Roosevelt room, which is the private dining room of the restaurant. But it's also a great option for photos as well as rehearsal dinners. We don't usually use it for cocktail hour because it's about 60 people max in this room. But it's very unique, very different. It's half Roosevelt, half library, if you will. The carpet was designed by a local artist for us as well. So there's a lot of local tributes when it comes to the decor here at the hotel. But we'll walk over to the Valencia ballroom. So this is the start of the Valencia foyer and ballroom. So the foyer is used for cocktail hour. We can do up to 200 in both the foyer as well as our ballroom. So we do have restrooms located right here for our guests, so they don't have to go back up to the front desk. Nice and convenient. all of our local artwork. It also comes with our plants, which is a huge bonus for decor. And then we do usually for cocktail hour, we put 2 bars right here in the middle, scatter in some cocktail tables. It also comes with this lounge furniture, which can be moved. We usually make little group settings during cocktail hour, or if the wedding party is a little bit smaller, we'll move them into the ballroom. And then this is our Valencia ballroom. So the Valencia ballroom has 20-foot ceilings and all hardwood floors, which is nice. So we actually don't do a dance floor in this space. We more just have dance area, if you will, notated on the diagram. We have the option of having the brick wall. Sorry, one second. Doing a little housekeeping, my apologies. So here we have the brick wall. So the couple usually decides if they want this as their backdrop, or we have the white wall on the back here. So the white wall is actually a push pin board. So they can do flowers or ivory along the white wall. That has become pretty popular on our Instagram page and an option for the guests. Once they decide what they want as their backdrop, we do the DJ or band on the opposite side. And then we split the rooms with our tables. We're a little different in the sense that we don't have standard 72-inch rounds. We have our oval tables instead. So here's kind of an example table. We can do up to 10. Again, our green chairs. And then we include all of this in-house decor. So gold chargers, they get to choose their color napkins. We have gold votives, floating candles, table numbers, everything. And then we include all of our silver flatware, white china plates. So this space is also used for ceremony, which this is typically the backdrop for ceremony. So we do a flip during cocktail hour. It's a really fun time, but we have it down to a science now. So the couple usually stands right here in the middle. We can move the drapes however they would like. This tends to be the most popular. It usually works out the best for photos. So our couple comes out through the back door here, right down the aisle, and then we flip it during cocktail hour. So for vendor load-in, we are a little unique being that we're in Ybor. So we have a couple different spots, either back of house or this front corner here off of 7th Avenue. Yeah. We do not have a loading dock, so it is a little different. But Saturday morning, vendor load-in is usually pretty easy. It's not too busy. And then we do have our custom-made chandeliers throughout the ballroom. So it's just a beautiful space. Again, we can do up to 200 in here. If someone wants a band, then usually 180 is our max. We do have the black poles. There's no way to get around those. Those are original. So some couples choose to do ivory on them, which is allowed as long as the vendor obviously provides their own lift or ladder. Most couples though choose just to leave it blank. Once the room's full, you don't notice it as much. So that's really everything. Any questions?
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the clients that choose the space? What kind of feedback do you hear? Like, what's kind of some of the reasons they decide to go with Hotel Haya?
So there's a couple different reasons. One, we are new, so we're about 2 years old. So the hotel still has that really new feel to it, especially our rooms. We are a boutique hotel, so we have 178 rooms in total. And then when it comes to the ballroom, the biggest comment I get is the high ceilings and the wood floors. There's no carpet that they have to either work into their decor design or bring in a dance floor. It's just simple and easy for them. Also being in Ybor, we're at the very top of Ybor, if you will, or like the start of it. It's really changed in general, the city, and it's a nice after wedding. They can just go downtown and have a ton of places to choose from.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely gives you the park your car and you don't need it at all. And you can get all over the place too, going over to downtown, Riverwalk, all that good stuff.
Yes, we have the trolleys that take them right downtown. We do have valet parking. It's always discounted to $10 for our bride and groom, as well as any of their guests, which is a pretty nice rate being downtown. If not, we have 717 parking across the street, as well as a few garages. And I did forget to mention, we as the hotel do all of the catering, food, and beverage, which is all Cuban inspired. So our menus are pretty popular because it's just different than your standard filet, if you will.
Can you tell us, you mentioned that your menu is Cuban inspired. Do you know any information about your chef in terms of his or her background, where they came from, that type of thing?
So we just hired a new chef. He has yet to start. So he'll be starting, I believe, in 2 or 3 weeks. But the past exec chef who helped open the hotel, the whole hotel itself is inspired by Cuba and Ignacio Haya, who was like one of the founding fathers, if you will, of Ybor. So we're actually named after him. His photo is in all of our hotel rooms. um, so we just really ran with that Cuban theme. So our most popular dishes are the ceviches. We do empanadas, which are all homemade. Our grilled skirt steak is huge, and a pamplona stuffed chicken. So we are excited for our new chef to start so we can kind of revamp our menus, but it will always have that Cuban flair.
Very cool. One of the questions was how many seats or how many guests can you seat outside again?
Outside for ceremony, 65 is comfortable, but we can do up to 80.
Gotcha. Perfect. And then anything else that would be good for vendors to know? You mentioned about parking, you mentioned about load-in, kind of anything else that would be kind of good for them to know, or anything that you get questions about?
So what's fabulous about our property is we allow a lot of creativity than some standard hotels or corporate hotels will allow. So we allow things on our wall. You can hang stuff from our ceilings. We actually have hooks in here from past florals who did the flower chandeliers. So that we don't really say no to our couple quite often. We're just a big empty canvas, which is what they love. And then also for setup times, we always guarantee about 4 hours, if not sooner. We always try to set our ballroom the night before, which means our vendors can come in first thing in the morning. So that is a huge stress off the vendors, play, as well as the bride and her mom usually. It's just pretty simple and easy. Of course, we are getting a little busier where we're now hosting 2 to 3 weddings a weekend. So that obviously is changing our schedule, but because most use our tables and chairs, it's easy for us to keep flipping the room.
Great.
Another option, because a lot of people do get worried about that flip, which of course it takes a minute to kind of talk the couple through how it works and to guarantee that we have it down. Some do choose to, I can kind of flip my camera here, pipe and drape the back of the room, if you will. So you can do that. Like I know we work with Kate Ryan quite often doing that. And then that way half of the ballroom's already set. So then we're only setting the front half over here. So that's an option too. We're willing to get super creative.
Great. We had a question about room blocks.
Yes. So our wedding contracts always include 10 rooms plus a suite. So our couple always gets a suite at a discounted rate. We have either our Floridian suite, which is basically our presidential, or we have junior balcony suites. Those are the ones we typically do what we call the complimentary upgrade to. So they're paying at their low rate. Our rates range from about 160 up to 205 is the highest I've seen, depending, of course, on the time of year. Anytime somebody needs more than 10 rooms, we do have attrition of 90%. And then we do offer hotel blocks only. So a lot of brides that are mature tend to come here and have their room block with us. That is something we do, even a courtesy block of 10 rooms.
Awesome. Does the lounge furniture get moved if there's a ceremony outside?
Yes. Yep. We usually move that into the private dining room if they're not using it for cocktail hour, or we would move it to, we do have a few more spaces I can show. We have our Mariposa room, which is right here. This is typically the room we give out to our vendors for their vendor meals, as well as storage, but it's also a good spot for a rehearsal dinner for up to 40, or it's also a storage room for any furniture we have to move out. We also have the Francisco room, which is through the back here. In front of me is a Goya. So we have 3 original Goyas that were found when we tore down tore down some walls in the building. So a lot of history here. This is just a quick room. So the Francisco room, which is our boardroom, is typically the room we use for the groom to get ready in. All of the spaces are included in the room rental.
I think every vendor just like got a big smile on their face. And you're like, this is the room that you get to eat in.
Yeah. Yes, we do always provide a vendor room for them to have their meals. So it is crazy to me how many brides include them in their seating chart. I'm like, no, they don't have to. We'll make sure they have their own private space.
Another question, to clarify, the outdoor space can either be used for cocktail hour or ceremony, correct?
Yes.
Do you typically do cocktail hour outside or inside? What's usually more popular?
Inside is more popular, specifically for weather. They're just, they always have the foyer as their backup rain option, but they just don't even want to stress with that. And then it depends on the time of year. So a lot of our fall weddings next year for November and December have booked the courtyard actually. But they still prefer the foyer. They just want to get those photos. So they booked it anyway.
Yeah, I know that's a great pre-function space. Are you pet friendly?
We are, yes, we do allow dogs. There's a $75 pet fee. We've had tons of dogs in our ceremonies in the ballroom, which work really well. So we love our 4-legged friends. I encourage it strongly to bring the dog.
Awesome. Another question, cigars can be smoked outside. Can they be purchased from the hotel or can they be brought in?
Yes, so we do have our own cigars for sale here at the hotel. We partner with JC Newman, who's right around the corner from us. They also have cigar rollers. His name's Lewis. He's here quite often. But any cigar vendor, as long as they're insured, they're more than welcome to come in.
Great. And then how do you handle guest parking for guests who are not staying at the hotel for wedding guests?
It's still $10. They still get that discounted rate. So because we are only valet, we actually don't have a parking lot on site. It kind of forces them, obviously, to valet with us. And as long as they say they're here for the wedding, we automatically give them that 50% discount.
Awesome. Great. Any other questions for Megan before we wrap up for the day? Do you have a preferred vendor list? Yes, they do. I'm going to actually pop Megan's email address in here so you guys can reach out to her directly if you have any questions. I know, Megan, right now you're kind of revamping your packages and everything at the moment, correct?
Correct, we are. So we just brought on a new director of sales. So she's actually from the Renaissance in St. Augustine. We're very happy to have her. So she's a couple weeks in. So we are revamping. So we have soon we'll have real wedding packages instead of just our beverage and catering event menu. So we can cater a little bit more. So yes, we have some changes coming. We're still a new hotel, so we're still kind of, figuring it all out.
Awesome. And then someone asked if they can see one of your suites. I don't know if you have any of your suites open, but what we can do is we can do a little kind of networking while you get up to your suites. And then whenever you're ready, we can kind of pause the networking and we can let you show us one of the suites.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me, Kennedy heard you and she's running to the front desk. So
okay.
I'm just gonna pause myself real quick and we'll get that figured out.
Yeah, if you just want to mute your video and your camera while you're getting up there, and then whenever you get up there, just unmute yourself, and then we will let you show us some of the suites.
Absolutely. Yep. Just one moment. Hi. Okay. Sorry for the little delay, but we do have our Floridian suite available to show, which is our presidential suite, in other words. So it's our largest. It's up on our 4th floor. Let me just rotate it. So this is when you walk in. It has 1.5 bath, which is nice. So it's our only suite with more than one restroom. It does also connect to a room with a king bed and a balcony. So a lot of bridesmaids like to book that as well. And then when you walk in, it has 3 balconies. Obviously, this huge table, which we can provide lunch or brunch while the ladies are getting ready. It also has our bar stools, which is nice and easy for hair and makeup. And then we do have the full kitchenette. We can either clear out our mini fridge so they can bring in their own items, or we can keep it full, I guess. It does have the full living room space, which if you've seen some of our photos, you've probably seen this couch. It's very popular for the bridal shot with her dress on. Off of the living room is the oversized balcony, which overlooks downtown. And of course, Ybor. So kind of see what all of our balconies look like. And there's no chickens out today, but usually you can't hear them. Back inside, this is the bedroom. So it does just come with the 1 king bed. This red couch is also very popular for photos. This is really what all of our standard rooms look like, is this color and decor. So because our ownership group is mostly all local, they've really brought in all the local artists to do all the decor, including the artwork from art students. The lights are meant to look like the street lights in Ybor. So just fun little tidbits. It has its own balcony here off of the actual bedroom. And then the best part, my personal favorite, is the bathroom. It's our largest. So it has the huge vanity, the private restroom, and then the shower, as well as the tub. So this is usually the #1 option for our couples, especially if it's a larger bridal party getting ready all day. The rate for this room typically is around $1,400 a night, but our couples get it for $675 for 2023. We have not established our 2024 rates yet. And just more artwork.
So you can't see all of the people in the chat, like just going nuts over the room. Literally 3 people in a row, including myself, were all like, "Oh my gosh, that tub."
Yeah. The
Very
tub
cool.
is usually a big deal when the bride sees it. They like to get their photos of in their dress with like their heels hanging out from the side. It's super cute. So whenever I do tours, I always like to pose them and show them where to do all their photos so they know.
So fun. Is the property, is it part of any type of loyalty program or bigger overarching group?
It's not. So we are actually operated by Imperium. They're based out of Chicago. They're a newer hotel company. I would say there's about 10 or so hotels in the portfolio. We are the largest. So they do specialize in boutique hotels, but they are opening 3 more. So they are starting to grow, but they do have 1 autograph collection, which is Marriott, in the portfolio, but that's about it right now.
But you can't get Marriott points or anything from booking or staying there. Darn.
No, unfortunately, which being from the Vinoy, I'm very used to that. So it takes a minute to kind of steer the couples away from using their points.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Megan, thank you so much again for taking the time to showcase the venue. It's absolutely stunning. Again, if you guys scroll up, Megan's information is in the chat. So any questions you have for her about the space, if you want to get any information, please reach out to her. And Megan, you're welcome to stay and hang out for the networking. Of course, we know you're super busy. So if you have to pop off, that's no problem. But thank you again.
All right. Thank you, everybody.